great. This week's mission is going to be about your experience on high school. And I'm going to send you some videos, some TED Talks. You're going to watch it and you're going to have some missions that has to do with this, of course. I am going to talk about my experience on this video, and probably you can find a model to work on your mission, okay? So first of all, high school, it was a little bit tough for me. It's not because I wasn't a good student. I mean, I have always been an average student, but since the beginning, I wasn't excited at all because it was a new thing and I'm not good at new things, okay, like in general. So I remember my first days and I wasn't excited, as I told you before. I have never been a social person, actually, never, ever. And I get a lot of trouble around people. So even on junior high school, I wasn't social enough. So when I got into high school, guys, I was very shy. I didn't have a lot of friends, for the first 2 weeks at least. And then on the third one, I met a girl who knew a guy, and this guy became, my best friend in high school. And we were doing all together. The first semesters, even until the end, we were together. We were inseparable. So the thing that happened is that at the beginning, I wasn't actually interested in something like the specific, or at least the general likes wasn't something that I liked it. I remember that there was girls talking about boys and I wasn't interested in any boy, and there was boys talking about soccer and I didn't like soccer. So it was rough at the beginning, but after I started talking with my friend Pablo, who became my best friend on high school, we started going to a lot of parties and we started to play video games all the time, skipping one or other class, eating all kinds of junk food and making fun of everyone. Actually, I don't consider myself a bully, but I remember that we used to talk privately about a lot of people. That's the main thing that I used to do with my best friend. Then for fourth semester I started having good grades, only on some subjects. I remember that my favorite were history and Spanish, and in particular Spanish, because I used to have this amazing professor, and his name, I still remember him. He was José Luis Herrera Arciniega, and oh man, he knew everything about everything. So he was very inspiring for me, and I started doing poetry contests. In one of these contests, I remember that probably in fifth semester, I won the second place on poetry exhibition. And this was something very small. It wasn't like IPEV's contests. It was only like inside the school, but I was very excited. And I remember also that this is on fourth semester was the semester that I wrote my first essay. And this was very important for me, because it amazed my professor. And I was so happy for it. I thought like I had the feeling that I achieved something. So now as a teacher, I try to do the same with my students. When you take a lot of effort at doing something, probably I congratulate them. But sometimes I wish I could do it better or could do it more, but I do what I can't. Now, at the end of fourth semester, I remember that I started to think a little bit about what did I want us to do for the rest of my life. And as I was interested in history, I thought that it was a good idea to study it. But I was thinking about the money and it wasn't good enough for me. So then I tried to do another things and tried to think in another careers. Believe it or not, I didn't like English at all, because I used to I remember that all of my teachers were the worst teachers. Like, they used to have like a lot of mistakes, and if I raised my hand and said like something about it, like I didn't want something to do, I remember that this was something bad for them. Like they used to get really angry if I correct them. So I remember that I didn't used to like English, but I have always been good at it. So with that on my mind, I started to think about which career would be good for me. Like, I knew that I was good at Spanish, I knew that I was good at history, but I was the best at English. it was always the same with me in English. So I even remember that I didn't study for my English exams, and I passed them with 8, 9, something like that. So in general, I think that I was good at English because I always enjoy American culture and always also British culture. I remember that my mom used to listen to the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and that was like caused a huge impact on me, not only on my decisions in life, also on my taste of music, which is actually very important for me. Then after that, on 6th semester, the last one, I started to think like seriously, what do I want to do with my life? And it was so difficult because college was so near now. I remember that someone asked me like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I used to tell them like, the only thing I want to be is taller, because I was joking about it. I actually didn't know exactly what do I wanted to be. And then I remember that I used to be so adventurous. I think I am still adventurous, but not as I used to be. And I took everything and I went to Ciudad de Mexico. So I moved to Ciudad de Mexico thinking that I wanted to study in another place, not in Toluca. So I got into UAM, that it's La Universidad Autónoma Metropolitana, and I applied for an exam and I didn't pass it, and that was very bad for me. I was so bummed down and I was very sad and I got depressed for 1 year. I remember that it was very difficult for me to accept that I couldn't study on the school that I wanted to study. So after 1 year, and I didn't leave anything, I mean I started working, but then my mom was like, no, you need to study, it's not only working. And I remember that she told me that I needed to choose a career very fast at UAMX because they were about to open the season of tests or something like that. And I remember that I applied for languages, and it was the only thing I thought about it. It was like, I'm good at English, so probably I'm going to be good at the career, I guess. And it was an easy choice. It was so easy to get in. So at the beginning I wasn't really convinced, because I knew that I didn't want it to be there. And actually the first semester of my career was super difficult because I hated going to my school. I really hated it. And then on second and third semester I started to think about that was going to be my life. And I started to have the recognition of a lot of professors and teachers, and they were like really happy with me, and I started to work on projects for my faculty, and I was really happy. And then at the end of everything of my career, I thought that it wasn't probably at the beginning the original plan, but I was really happy about it. So now that I'm a teacher, I can say that probably I haven't, when I was on high school, I didn't think about myself as a teacher, but I think I enjoy my job, and I like to specifically work with teenagers and also adults, but more with teenagers because I know that you can share a lot of things. And I love sharing because I think I have a lot of things to say. I think as a teacher, if you have a message, like a real message, and you can transmit it, that's amazing. And that's an amazing skill that I know I wouldn't be able to have it if I had chosen another career, So that's my experience, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that I can see you soon. And good luck with your mission, because I know that you need to think about it a lot. Okay? See you on the next video, guys. Bye bye.